Good morning,
people of the earth.
We interrupt our program at the request of the White House. This is a test.
Some very strange events have been taking place recently.
The emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. Furnishing news, official information, and instruction as soon as possible.
Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. The world is like a ride at an amusement park.
This is only a test.
This is just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love.
A small group of warriors have taken up the fight on your behalf.
It's been activated to keep you informed.
The earth is where we make our stand.
You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful.
People of the earth.
People of Earth.
People of earth.
If you are not,
People.
tune to a station furnishing information for your area.
People of Earth, people of Earth,
Hey.
people of Earth, people of Earth. Greetings, people of Earth. We made it. We're here. We're live in the studio. We're recording the podcast, the People of Earth podcast. It's happening.
Finally.
The People of Earth podcast, the year 2021. Two things I thought might not happen, honestly. I didn't know if I'd make it to see him.
Me either. It was looking bleak there at the end.
You got a little touch and go.
Yeah.
We didn't know which way it was going to go, but we're here now, and we're happy to be here now. We're drinking champagne, toasting in the studio. I got my boy Q here
Cheers.
on the ones and twos, tickling the ivories, and we're bringing you the People of Earth podcast. My name is Austin Carr. I am going to be your host. I'm a comedian. You used to be able to catch me down there cracking yolks at the omelet bar, all right, back before the fall of humanity, if you're all familiar with that period of history, all right, 2020. A lot of people out there saying it was one of the shittiest years in human history. You heard this? You seen this?
I've heard something about
Should
it.
we talk about this?
I would love to talk about it.
I don't know. I got a pretty hot take. I think shittiest year in history? Maybe. I think one of the funniest years in human history.
You're telling me you could get some good out of 2020.
Honestly, I think we could all use that right now. I think we would all benefit from trying to find a little levity. All right? Shifting our perspective, our mental eye, if you will, moving it just so that we can look back with some positivity, laugh a little bit going forward.
But how could you polish this turd?
That is a good-ass question. That is a good-ass question. I don't know, man. A lot of funny-ass things happened in 2020. We had the whole quarantine saga. We had people going nuts over toilet paper.
Oh, my God.
We had fucking a bunch of dumb shit.
Yeah.
A bunch of dumb shit, if I could just kind of frame it as that.
Yeah.
But we're going to go through it month by month and bring you some of the funniest things that happened in the year 2020. So, let's get started right off. January 2020 started with a bang. Literally, Gritty is out there punching kids.
Crazy piece of shit, dude.
Gritty punched a kid. Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, which is a hockey team, I'm told.
Apparently, I don't know.
I'm not from Canada or the Great Lakes, so I'm not a hockey fan. You know,
Only the crazies of hockey could come up with this guy.
I live in California. We've got beaches. I've never even seen a hockey stick. But this guy, Gritty, seems like he does cocaine off of hockey sticks. I don't know what it is. I thought baseball had the methiest mascots, but, I think Gritty takes the cake. Gritty looks like it's a little bit more than meth. What was that drug in Florida? It was a Gator?
Yeah.
People were chewing people's faces off. That looks like a little bit what Gritty got. Maybe that's what happened here this day because police in Philadelphia were investigating a complaint that Gritty punched a 13-year-old.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. We've all wanted to punch a kid before, but Gritty actually did it. Which, Gritty's like an anti-hero. That's an anti-hero's story. It's not a hero story because it was overtly, legally wrong. But we've all been there. We've all been at that breaking point, at the brink, if you will, of the brink of the ice, perhaps.
The crazy son of a bitch did it.
The crazy son of a bitch did it. That crazy son of a bitch did it. Have you ever worked with kids?
Yeah, I did. When I was younger, I taught swim lessons.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
That's right. We talked about that. Yeah. The greatest part about teaching swim lessons was it's the only kind of working with kids where if they ever piss you off, you could just fucking throw them.
Yeah. Yeah.
they're ever mouthing off, you can just toss him in the deep end and be like, all right, buddy, come on, flutter, kick back to me. You got to get back to me. Asking too many questions, you just hold him down 1 second longer than you're supposed to. And no, I never did that, allegedly. Anyway, all right, moving on. So, allegedly, the son ran up to Gritty, and the father was saying that this kid ran up to Gritty and just harmlessly pat him on the head, which I call bullshit.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
No. I don't know if you've ever been around kids in public, but that kid 100% tried to sneak a bitch slap in when he thought no one was looking. And Gritty said, "Not today, you little motherfucker."
Yeah, the little bastard.
And he chased him down. The article says that he went on to go into a full sprint. He took a running start and punched my son as hard as he could.
Oh my! Are you serious?
It's got to be a special moment for any father.
How fast can you get going?
To watch the mascot of your favorite team take out your little mascot, your little buddy.
Man.
But Gritty, you know, a lot of us out there salute you for what you did. And we can't outwardly say it. And I think he lost his job, which is probably the right thing that should have happened. But anyway, you know, it's just a man in a mask, and he's really an idea. Gritty's an idea at that point. He's transcended the man in the mask.
Yeah.
Moving on, you know, what else happened in January? January started with, I don't know if you remember, Australia was just like entirely on fire.
Yes.
So it was like, yeah, no, mate, it's fucking hot down here. All right, it's getting a little hot down under, but it's like spreading all over. It's not just down under now; it's all over. That's it started down under. We're used to that. It's the outback, mate. But now it's all over, and now it's all over. If you get what anyway. All right. So Australia was on fire, and what was the response? Send nudes. Apparently.
Standard, right?
Yeah,
Standard
you know,
response.
that's a pretty 2020 response for you right there. That's a modern solution for a modern age. But basically what happened was this girl from California, which of course, right, is this girl from California. Her name is Kaylin Ward. She's like, listen, I hear you guys are having a fire. So what I'm going to do is drop some fire nudes in your DMs and send me some money. And we're going to save the koalas.
She was trying to help, man. She was trying to help.
And she did help.
She raised a lot of money, right?
It was more than $1 million in 3 days.
Wow.
$1 million in 3 days for nudes. You know, Pornhub's free, but I guess for a cause.
Yeah.
It's all for the cause.
Right.
But $1 million in 3 days, and then they just shut it off? Like, as if that's enough? You're telling me...
I mean, how much could you save with that, though?
But if the money's coming, why stop it? Where does it go after that? It goes to the reconstruction. It goes to her reconstruction, perhaps. Anyway, I don't know.
Maybe that was the limit.
Maybe there is a financial limit. Who knows
or whatever.
But apparently, like, she landed a $250,000 partnership with OnlyFans after that, which Australia was like, OnlyFans, yeah, mate. Honestly, that's what we tried in the beginning. OnlyFans. Not really putting the fire out, kind of just blowing it around. You live and you learn there, but...
Oh, man.
I know. All right.
Oh, jeez.
But I thought that this was interesting because this was an ongoing iteration in a new series of charitable contributions called charity porn.
They came up with a name for it.
They came up with a name for it, you know, charity porn. What a world. What a world we live in now. At least, you know, anyway. All right, moving on. What else happened in January? Brexit happened. None of us understood that. And so then they rebranded it as Megxit to remind us all that global politics is a bad tabloid joke, essentially.
Yeah.
It's just they're giving up at this point. Brexit was making too many people angry, so they were like, how do we get some likable characters involved?
Why do they call it
Megxit?
Megxit.
Because it was all kind of centered around her, Meghan and Prince Harry or whatever. I think it's Harry. Harry and Meghan. Anyhow, they announced that they were going to leave the royal family because she had been on the receiving end of some racism, I guess, as well. Because the British people are super racist. For anyone that didn't know out there, every country's racist. It's not just America. The British are hella racist.
Wow.
From what I hear.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. And
I thought they were the most proper blokes out there.
You would think, mate. You would think that after years of following the Silk Road and whatnot, but they have we know the history, so we know more. We know better. But apparently, yeah, they had a bunch of issues and were just deciding to step out of the realm of global politics and geopolitical theater, and decided to step down into the more familiar territory of reality television theater and make this all a big story for about a month, and then no one cared. And that's about all the time we should spend on that. So moving on, February rolled around, and everyone got to say the word caucus again.
I know. I said it. I still say it.
And that was, it was fun. We were all having a good time whipping the old caucus out. Anytime I can whip out the old caucus at the dinner table, that excites me. All right, that gets me going. That's what motivates me.
I watch the news all the time, and I still don't know what a caucus is.
No one knows what it means. All right, it's like that Kanye West song where they sample the Ice Skater movie, whatever the fuck. Anyway, that reference is going nowhere. But
oh yeah, Blades of Glory.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. It's the caucus. That's the next line that they cut out of that sample. They go, "It's the caucus." But yeah, apparently there was an issue with Iowa's caucus. The Democrats put a lot of faith in the caucus, in Iowa's caucus. They needed to believe in the integrity of Iowa's caucus. But however, Iowa was experimenting with a new form of high-tech caucus.
Oh.
and anytime that you introduce that new level of technological innovation with your caucus, I guess you run into some sort of danger and risk where the integrity of the caucus could be compromised. And so they thought some people hacked the caucus.
Wow.
Hack
caucus?
Hack caucus.
It sounds dangerous.
It does. It sounds like national news. The hack caucus.
Yeah.
They hacked into the caucus.
I guess that happened.
That did happen. What else happened in February? Well, the Boy Scouts of America just keep getting fucked.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The Boy Scouts of America. All right, a little bit of context here. The
Please.
Boy Scouts of America in February filed for bankruptcy as it faced hundreds of complaints of sexual abuse from I think something like 200 or 300 grown men that came forward saying that they had risky encounters in the Scouts, which, I mean,
let's see.
Not to victim blame, but I think that's kind of the mental picture that all of us kind of had going into Scouts.
Yeah.
You imagine that you're going to end up in a tent with, someone's dad who's not your dad.
Scouts honor.
And then there's that thing. The instead of see something, say something, they have the exact opposite of that, where they're like, don't fucking say anything, all right? Scouts honor, you shut your goddamn mouth, all right?
Scouts honor is bound in blood, dude.
Yeah, it is a blood oath and other bodily fluids, apparently. Anyway, all right, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. But
what other scandals were there?
Well, it's what other? Yeah, I know. How can we get on past this? Well, apparently, scouting operations didn't even cease while all this was going on. They
Really?
just rebranded it as the Scouts. It's gender neutral now. It's not just about the boys. They're scouting all.
Oh, instead of the Boy Scouts, it's the Scouts?
Yeah, it's Scouts.
Whoa, that happened last year?
Yeah, it did.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that at all.
I know. So what, do they just dodge all that litigation by just changing their name? And now the Scouts are all good. The boys, them Boy Scouts though.
Scouts honor.
Anyway, all right, moving on. What else happened in February? Harvey Weinstein finally receives a sentence, and for a brief, shining moment, 2020 seems just and redemptive, and like maybe we're gonna get somewhere, as far as the whole Me Too movement, all of the shit that had been going on with cancel culture. We're like, we're gonna put this fuck away and get towards that other side, that sweet green grass, if you will, on the other side. When did this start happening, though? The bringing of the, not the wheelchair, but what is that?
It's
the
like
walker?
it's a walker with wheels on it.
Yeah.
The portable walker.
They're going for the sympathy vote. Like anyone's gonna fucking, oh my God, he's been living his life in such torment.
Doesn't he look so poor and frail there,
Doesn't
though?
he look so poor and frail? Not like a rich man with gout and many, many mental images that he can flick through while in prison.
I'm so frail in my $1 million suit.
But it was good. He finally was getting a sentence. I mean, what was crazy about it is the amount of women that came out, and then he was only charged with like 2 actual charges.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to have, you just hope that some good can come out of this, right? Like I used to have a bit about this. Like I was thinking that, maybe this can serve as some sort of legal precedence, and like we can get into like some clearly defined sexual harassment, like tiers, if you will, where it's like, God forbid you're in trouble and your lawyer sits you down and he's like, all right, well, what are we in here for?
Yeah.
Do you go full Weinstein or give him a little Louis? Like what, anyway, all right.
Way different, man. Way different.
Exactly. All right. March 2020 rolls around, and literally no one is taking COVID seriously until we are all faced with a potential world without Tom Hanks. All right? This time, they've gone too far. They're coming for Woody. They're coming for another movie that he was in, and that other movie that he was in that we all liked. All right? And we won't have it. All right? Those two movies and Toy Story that meant a lot to me. Yeah. we were all, it was weird. It was like you heard about COVID and no one was really taking anything seriously. And then it was like March 11th, Tom Hanks comes down with it. And then March 17th, the shutdown finally comes into place. And people were like, oh God, we got to take this seriously. That's when the NBA started saying, this isn't a game. All right. In fact, no more games. We're shutting it down.
When I saw Tom Hanks, that got real for me, for sure. He's like, a saint, right?
Exactly. He's essentially earned sainthood somehow.
Honorary saint.
I mean, his son's a rapper, and if anyone can live through having a son as a white rapper, then God bless you.
You're lying.
I swear to God. We'll get into that later, too.
Oh, my God.
It's also crazy that his wife had it, and everyone was just like, yeah, but I mean, what has she been in lately?
Yeah.
She's not any. All right. Moving on. What else happened in March? Tiger King debuts, damaging America's perceived intellectual reputation and global credit, being simultaneously riveting and also the only thing that we had to watch. And
I mean, it really was, but it was great, right?
What a time to be
new.
alive. Yeah. What a time to be locked up in your house and then watching this shit go down and being like, there are criminal rings in like Louisiana or wherever the fuck that was. They've got these pop-up zoos and the fact that he was like a de facto reality TV star and they burned all the tapes. There's arsony, there's fraud, there's probably money laundering, there's murder.
It's like Tiger GTA.
Yeah, it is like Tiger GTA.
Riding tigers everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. But it was also just like, yeah, it was the only thing we had to watch. So, I mean, to me, no Making a Murderer, but still pretty fucking sick.
Not comparable.
Not comparable? I mean, listen, the fact that we all, like, essentially at the end unanimously agree that Carol Baskin fed her husband to a tiger, I mean, that's that's like stranger than fiction type shit. So,
you really think she did it?
Hun, do I think she did it?
I'm
Moving on.
Man.
Of course she did.
Of
course she did. The only thing dumber than that question was the fact that famous people recorded Imagine also during this month. Gal Gadot got all of her friends to sing Imagine to us as if we were a bunch of third graders that need to be calmed and coddled.
I kind of felt like that, though. I felt like that mostly through 2020.
Yeah. All right. Last thing in March, we had the Olympics were canceled and postponed. Making that every 4 years thing and everything else in our lives feel pretty arbitrary and meaningless at that point. I don't know about you, but that was like around the same time things started just getting like postponed, canceled. Everyone like, did you have friends cancel weddings?
I don't have a lot of friends getting married.
Good. Your friends are smart. You got some good ass friends. All right.
I don't have a lot of friends in general.
Well, you don't need to go any deeper than the surface level that we just scratched. All right. I was giving you some preps.
So if you want to be my friend, let me know.
I'm not getting married for you. I'm not getting married to you.
Well,
Yet.
I think with your experience, you probably,
Hey.
You know what?
All right. The Olympics were canceled, and honestly, everyone was like, who gives a shit? The Russians have been doping and cheating, and that was the most interesting part up until now. And swimming was kind of a fad for a little bit. Now it's not. We're moving on. And now's not the time for global competition. Perhaps a little global cooperation. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't even have watched the Olympics because Michael Phelps wasn't going to be there because he did the worst thing possible. He smoked.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the worst thing possible.
I mean, that was, illegal marijuana.
Yeah. That illegal, that devil's lettuce, if you will.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like now I've seen all the Olympics I ever need to see. We saw the Phelps era. We saw the Usain Bolt. And now that it's canceled and not going to be every 4 years, and it throws that off. So now it's like one time it was every 5 years, but the rest of the times it's just stupid. All right?
Yeah.
We're done. We're moving on. We're
All
done.
right,
We're done with the Olympics. It's canceled. April 2020 rolls around, and Bernie Sanders. Bernie scorches all of our hearts and cast our dreams of having at least a morally grounded and comically elderly president by dropping out of the race. And we're left with kind of the bottom of the bag of chips as far as the Democratic Party, if you will. We got some crumbs in there, and we're going to try to, shovel it into our mouths and convince ourselves that we're full. If
That's not the best image, but I'll take it.
It's not the best image, but it tastes just as good. You got all the crumbs at the bottom with the flavor. But
there you go.
It was a bummer, man. I was really pulling for Bernie. I wanted Bernie to get in and just do it. Like an old guy. Just get in there, do it. All right. You got a plan, do it. Universal basic income, do it. All right. Universal health care, do it. Student loan forgiveness, do it. I wanted him to come in with that kind of energy. That old godfather, like, I'm on my way out, so I'm making changes. All right, we're blowing this whole roof out. Sunlights, sunroofs, whatever the fuck you call it. Moon roofs. I don't know.
Solar panels, I think.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for tying a bow on that, because I have no idea where I was going.
There you go.
Yeah, God damn it, Bernie. And then we had Andrew Yang. I was really hoping for Yang. I was in the Yang gang.
Yang was cool, actually. I liked him.
Now he just does podcasts with other comedians, so maybe we can get him on here.
Man,
kick it.
That'd be great.
Anyway, moving on. What else happened in April? Kim Jong-un plays a little game of peekaboo and becomes the global groundhog for winter, which is decidedly coming in 2020. We've decided that winter is coming in 2020, and it is not going to be a good year. And Kim Jong-un became our un and only piece of news for about a week. We were like, where did he go? What happened? Is he gone? Is he dead? Was he assassinated? Is there a replacement? Is it a robot? And then my favorite part of it, Kim Jong-un's sister, Kimmy Jong-un.
What's her name?
I don't know if that's her real name. So I'm sorry. But little Kimmy Jong-un steps onto the global stage, and everyone's like, yeah, we will take that.
What did I've never heard of her. What did she do?
She literally just appeared for like 3 pictures where they're like, Kim Jong-un has a sister, and she might replace him as the leader in the event of something happening to him. And people were like, oh, no shit. Maybe this could be better. But I have a feeling whatever's going on in that family is genetic, and she would not have been any nicer. We'll put it that way. She wouldn't have been any nicer. All right.
I wouldn't expect it. That's for sure.
But then he comes out like a week later, and he's like, guys, I'm fine. I'm here. All right. I was just.
Why is he Australian?
I don't know why Kim Jong. He was popping over to Australia to check on his kimchi that he buried. I don't know why I said that either. All right. I like kimchi, and I know for a fact that you have to bury it and check on it. All right. So that's where my mind went. Maybe he was checking on his kimchi, and then he's like, guys, I'm fine. All right. It's a good batch. This one's good.
That one derailed me. I don't know how to answer that one.
Moving on. What else happened in April? The Pentagon edges stoners everywhere by threatening to release UFO footage. There's whispers that they're going to do it. They're going to show us all the tapes. And I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if this was brought on by the pressure of all those dumbass kids threatening to storm Area 51. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that might be one of the only things I remember from 2020.
I think that was in September 2019. For some reason, that stuck in my head. I think it happened in the year prior, but I don't think it happened during the pandemic.
What was the date to storm it in 2020?
No, I think it was in 2019, but we can check that out
I'm
later.
gonna look.
But in April, they said that they were going to release a bunch of footage. They were like, you guys, I know you're out there. I know you want the truth. I know you want answers. We've got the tapes. I've got the documents. Interdimensional travelers. The grays are real. We've got greens. We've got grays. We've got purples. We've got blues. Whatever you need, we're coming to you. All right. This is the U.S. government. We've seen the aliens. They're out there. And then nothing. It was like the same old VHS tape of a little Tic Tac flying around. And you're like, what is that? Is it real? And nothing.
It was the spookiest Tic Tac, though.
I'm just, you know what? I want to see it. All right. I know. I
believe.
I believe and I know.
I'm a believer.
I don't have evidence to know, but I want to fucking, you know what? Just do it. All right. I'm gonna go Bernie Sanders on you. I'm gonna say just do it. Show us the documents. All right. Show us the tapes. Show us the interviews.
Show us your documents.
Show us what you got. I mean, honestly, they said that they were gonna show us. They made it sound like they had like a backlog of shit that they were just gonna like open the floodgates. And then Trump like tacked this on to the stimulus bill. He's like, this begins a 180-day countdown until we tell you everything that we know. And still nothing. It's never going to happen. It's the day that never comes, if you will.
Yeah.
What else? May 2020, a month that will surely go down in history as one of the most terrifying, infamous, and disturbing displays of violence and horror in recent memory. Started with one of the most shocking headlines you could ever wake up to. Murder hornets. Murder hornets were a thing as well. Apparently, giant Asian murder hornets, which, as if Asia needed any more heat in 2020.
Oh, no, yeah.
I know. And it's like, this is not the time to get xenophobic and start blaming Asia, all right? It's the animals that are our enemies, all right? It's the bats and it's the bees. And we got to go after them, all right? We've been on the defensive for too long, but now it's time we take our stand, all right? So suit up, arm yourselves, and don't eat these motherfuckers, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that either, but
the bats and the bees, man.
The bats and the bees. That is like a weird like 2020 children's book. The bats and the bees.
Yeah. Okay, you should write that.
Okay. All right. Okay, the bats
Okay,
and the
like
bees, baby. I mean, it's not a happy book. It's not a good story.
You know what? It's real. And that's all that counts.
It's not a bedtime story. It's like a wake up story. It's like one that you wake your kids up in the middle of the night out of a dead sleep to read them this story and just confuse the shit out of them. And then at 5:30, you're like, all right, go back to sleep.
And you sleep well because you think that you taught them something.
You sleep well, but the kids don't.
Yeah.
And neither did all of us in the month of May. In all seriousness, no one will ever forget what happened in this definitive moment in the history of civil rights in the U.S. It's not something to be joked about, so we won't. Justice is not an idea, neither is hope, nor is peace. And we can only hope to grow more interconnected and empathetic for one another as we shape tomorrow. Anyway, what else? Fucking June rolls around, and Elon Musk and Grimes announced the birth of their interplanetary cyborg spawn.
Such a weird couple.
Such a weird couple, such a weird decision. Nothing about this makes sense. It's all so confusing. Do they have to be contrarians about everything? You know?
I mean, I feel like they.
What was the kid's name? It was like XAE12 or some shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It does roll off the tongue pretty nicely, though.
I'll
give it that. Yeah.
Does it roll
with
off
the dash in there? It's pretty great. But
X-AE-12.
Something like that.
It sounds like your command orders.
Yeah.
X-AE-12.
Or when
under penal code X-AE-12, I am placing you under arrest for sexually harassing me with your eyes.
You want to know Elon Musk's son's name? You just Google how to take a screenshot on a Mac.
Hey, there you go. That's a good one.
Hey, thanks.
That's a good one.
Thanks. I just thought of that.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck does that name even mean? That kid was never meant for Earth. That name means like bringer of peace and enlightenment, and like Alpha Centauri or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that kid's on the fucking shuttle. He's out of here. He's going to Mars. And Grimes. What kind of a name is Grimes? I know we've talked about this, but why? You know, why Grimes? Is it because her beats are grimy? Or is it something else?
Some type of dirt in there.
Some type of dirt in there. Maybe she's got some dirty tricks. And that's how she bagged her that Elon money. You know. Anyway, all right.
Whoa.
Allegedly. Speaking of allegedly, what else? We had Chris D'Elia Virginity outed as a creepy guy, which
Man.
I guess no one saw coming.
I just learned all about this too. We were talking about it.
It was a whole saga in the comedy community.
Yeah.
Large discussion about problematic males in the comedy community.
I feel for all you comedians, you male comedians and female comedians out there, because
us male comedians, we got it rough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was a big part of the community.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, I've seen him out there a lot, and I've seen his stand up. I've seen his Netflix special.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really think he was that funny from the beginning, but he's a professional comedian who changed comedy. I think he had his staple, and it's just sad, right?
I don't know if he changed it. I mean, I don't want to get into talking shit here, but yeah. I'm not gonna say shit about that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I think that there are names that you could legitimately say change the game of comedy, and then there are names that you could say are under investigation for sexual assault crimes. That's a different list of comedians.
Well, yeah. I was just asking because I'm not a comedian, so that's
Fair enough. I think he did some things for comedy. To me, he was always kind of a pop comic, like pop culture. Like he was a fad that was a wave that was gonna break on the shore, and then I don't know. I never saw a whole lot of substance. I saw a lot of trying to get attention, and I think he did that on social media with 16-year-old girls, and kind of the internet is undefeated there. They screenshotted that shit, and
Yeah, well,
I would say the only thing he's got over other comedians out there is a famous father and a good legal team. But now I am talking shit. So anyway, moving on.
fair enough.
What else happens in June? Poland accidentally invades the Czech Republic. Whoops. Honest mistake. That happens. One country invading another.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
Oh, I mean, yeah. What does that even, how do you make a mistake like that? And also, what constitutes an invasion? Like, is that just some Polish guys having lunch at like a Czech diner? And then the Czech are like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, I am Polish. What do you mean? Those Polish, that's how they sound, those Polacks.
That was pretty on
What do you
point.
mean? I'm eating here at the restaurant in the Czech Republic. Why are you mad at me?
I don't know. I skipped history class.
Well, apparently Polish soldiers mistakenly deterred citizens from entering a church on Czech territory. So they weren't letting them go to church, or they were just like, yeah, no, church is that way. These Czechs, they all sound different. Each one of them has a very unique dialect.
It's a diverse country.
It's based on which neighborhood you grow up in, and you know what? That's about all the time I think I'm going to spend on anything Polish.
Okay.
That's
Fair
about
enough.
all it deserves. So moving on, what else happened? We get into July 2020. Ghislaine, how do you say that name? Ghislaine Maxwell. Gilaf Maxwell is outed as Cruella de Vil, and Trump wishes her well.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess clearly no indicator of his potential involvement, allegedly, But yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell, what a name. She sounds like the first female Bond villain. She sounds like you learn that she's the leader, but it's like Bond's backstory. They call it Before Bond. And it was
Before Bond.
Him as a little orphan boy on an island. And he learned that he wasn't there for an education.
Wow.
He was there to learn a very difficult lesson.
Have you copyrighted this?
Physically. With a man named Jeffrey, his tutor, Mr. Epstein, Dr. Epstein.
Oh.
Professor of anatomy.
I know where this is going.
Physiology. And Ghislaine Maxwell. Anyway, all right.
I don't know. That may have been paying homage to him a little bit.
Yeah, I can trademark this. I'm shopping this script around to a lot of people right now. All right,
Okay.
You might be surprised at how much interest there is in this kind of a piece. It's Before Bond, featuring Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein as like what they did with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
They just do a deep fake where they have an actor or an actress standing in.
Yeah.
It's really revolutionary. It's going to be a great movie. But
it's like
all right.
it's like Epstein fan fiction.
Exactly. But also revenge porn, if you will.
Oh.
And Daniel Craig, we de-age him like in Benjamin Button, where they get Brad Pitt looking real young at the end after he's all real. Anyway, all right, moving on. This bit is going nowhere.
What else happened?
July, the CDC takes us all back to sex ed and tells us how to stay clean while being dirty. The CDC came around in July in quarantine and started telling us all how to fuck safely, which was nice, but also confusing because it's like they're like, don't go outside, don't see anybody, don't go into any restaurants or into any stores, but we know you have to fuck. So if you are going to do it, this is how you do it. You create a bubble around your body, and you rub that bubble up against her bubble and create friction.
What kind of bubble are we talking?
I think they were talking more about like a metaphorical bubble, but I read it as literal. I thought it was like a physical bubble boy kind of a situation.
Like Bubble Boy the movie.
Was not.
Hmm.
Very awkward Tinder date. But I tried it. I put myself out there, and that's what matters, all right? But no, the CDC taught us all how to fuck safely in quarantine. They turned us all into Hasidic Jews for like a week and had us fucking through bed sheets. Oh my God. All right, anyway, moving on.
Dude. Wow.
What else? Last thing that happened in July, demon sperm. Something that I never got to yell before in my life until now, and I'm glad that I've been given the opportunity. But demon sperm, a headline in the news, because it's 2020, baby. Why not? You know? Put demon sperm. No, what happened is Trump appointed this new like head of what was her title? She was supposed to be a medical expert, I guess is what we'll just call her, one of his head medical experts. And it comes out that she believes in all sorts of shit like alien DNA and demon sperm and hydroxychloroquine, which is that drug the FDA was like, don't take this, it will kill you. Like,
she was an expert on demon semen.
Demon semen.
That's crazy.
Which, you know, how do you, that must have taken quite a bit of field research, madam. What kind of seances are you attending where it ends in some demon sperm? Usually they just like shake around the chandelier for a little bit. You don't just see them dropping loads. And they're like, there's the demon sperm. I tell you, I've seen it before. I've tasted one just like this. This is Malachi. No, demon sperm. She sounds like fucking Alex Jones. She's like, demon sperm, they're seeding us with alien DNA. The Democrats, the globalist elites.
The libtards.
They want you to take the hydrochloroquine. All right. I don't know.
I mean, it's just so crazy, but it's honestly not crazy for 2020.
No.
With what happened.
Exactly. It was the year of Stranger Than Fiction. And that was one of the most comedic headlines that, you know, you're never expecting to be scrolling through Google News and just see demon sperm.
Yeah.
You're like, you see
real.
that and you're like, you know what? Today's going to be all right. Today's not going to be a bad day.
Oh, man.
All right. We move into August. And, oh, man. Who was this? We had Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, I guess, or I don't know. Were they the three that put it out? But they released Wet Ass Pussy.
It was the big three.
Which breaks Ben Shapiro's brain. It was the big three. They were the three horsewomen of the Pasocalypse.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah.
But they brought that song out, and Ben Shapiro, oh my God, the funniest. That was the hardest I think I laughed for like a long, long time in quarantine was when I saw him. Ben Shapiro did a video of reading out loud, reading along the lyrics to Wet Ass Pussy. And he can't even say it. He goes, wet ass P word.
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
let's say, for the sake of argument, that their wet ass P word has some sort of venereal disease. All right? Would that, hypothetically, for the sake of argument, make my hard ass D word any more enticing to put inside their hard ass P word? All right? I'm listening to this song, and it makes my D word a little bit hard. All right? And I just love watching someone out themselves as a nerd.
I mean, yeah.
I guess that video speaks for itself, but that was genuinely entertaining for me, is watching white America just absolutely not understand
I don't know why he had to go so deep with it. You know, he really had to get into
Yeah.
the lyrics and tell you what it was. And
Not even comedically, because that's sometimes a funny thing to do comedically is just to like speak out the written lyrics of a
Right.
song. But he was like, they are damaging the culture of America by talking about their P words. All right? We can't let women talk about their P words because then they cease to be women. All right.
Oh my God.
Moving on. Australia back in the news for more natural weather phenomenon. They say, oi, physics weathermen, want to see something cool? Check out this upside down waterfall. Hey, ooh. Now Australia has gone from being like globally dangerous to being like a weird hokey street magician. They're like, oh, check this out. I can make a waterfall that usually goes down. Come up. Everything's weird down here. We're funky down under. Check it out.
It is upside down, so
It was, I mean, I think it was just the wind, but it did like trick me for a minute as a stoner watching this. I was like, how are they doing that? All right. What's happening down there?
how's the water going up, man?
How do they do that, dude? Are they really like, do they reverse the flow of gravity on Australia? Is everyone constantly like forcing themselves down and to not float away? Is the earth really flat? No.
Oh,
We'll get in. We should do a flat earth day.
we shouldn't. We should stay away from flat Earth. It's not safe territory.
No, you know what this reminded me of was that thing in Santa Cruz where they have that ball that looks like it's rolling uphill, but it's an optical illusion.
You're talking about the mystery spot?
The mystery spot, exactly, which is what my ex-wife called her. Anyway, moving on.
Oh.
What else do we have for you? In August, after a lot of hype, we learned what we all already knew. The old Mulan was better. The old Mulan was much better. All right? You can't just cut out Eddie Murphy like that. All right? Eddie Murphy was hot at the moment. Hot off the release of Dolomite. How do you not grab him and bring back Mushu, the best part of this movie?
I knew it wasn't going to be good before it came out.
Well,
It wasn't going to be better than the old one, at least.
Disney's on a bit of a identity politics roller coaster ride right now, where they're getting a little wild with it.
True.
Some of the loop-de-loops, and you know, this movie is about like is very much identity centric, and also is like kind of a revolutionary movie where it's like a taking power movie.
You're talking about the new one or the old one?
The old one, and
Yeah.
also just the story. And then during the filming of this, the lead actress just like totally sells out Hong Kong during the protests and is just like siding with the side of the CCP, and they're like, keep booking me in Disney movies.
Yeah.
I made it out. It was a bunch of bullshit, and it was one of the other only things we had to watch in 2020, so we all had to sit through it. And I was very upset. They spent just as much on a stupid-ass CGI Phoenix that meant nothing, and they could have put in Mushu. Anyway, moving on, goddammit. What else? Macaulay Culkin turns 40, and we all collectively just slam our laptops and go back to bed. All right? This was a tough day when you're like, fuck, I am old. The little kid is now a man.
It's like he's two different people, though.
It really is.
You know?
That dude right there, that dude ages like Gollum. Macaulay Culkin is on a downturn, I gotta say. You'd love to say that he didn't peak in Home Alone, but
He peaked when he was 5. What? Sorry, 12? How old was he in Home Alone?
I don't know if you're allowed to say that they peaked that early, because then it puts you in the Boy Scouts territory, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, what about Well, I guess Justin Bieber wasn't that. Like, he's still good,
I
right?
don't like
But
this conversation anymore.
Moving on.
I don't want to. Justin, get him out of here. But this right here is one of the most relatable pictures I think I've ever seen as far as quarantine 2020.
Yeah.
We all had that day locked in our houses in quarantine, just shirt up, belly out, and all of our takeout boxes splayed out across the couch.
Yeah.
Our sadness on full display. And oh my God, Macaulay Culkin turns 40.
What a guy.
What a guy. September rolls around, and The Rock's roid rage on an innocent gate is an embodiment of all of our collective angst at this point. We're all going, let me out. I want outside. Let me out of my fucking house. But he was trying to get in, I guess, to record something, and ends up ripping this steel or iron gate just out of the ground.
Yeah. I think it's about time he ripped something out of the ground. I don't think, that's what I needed to see.
everyone wants. I mean, it's also like, way to look like a bit of a diva in front of your entire production staff.
Well, The Rock is a diva. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the steroids, perhaps. I think that's what it might do.
Maybe, but I think he's also like he's very, center cam, limelight kind of guy.
And he's gonna put on a show, or he's gonna make a display.
Yeah,
and then of course, not to be one up, someone else who has to make a display. His quote unquote friend Ryan Reynolds tweets, actually, it was a push gate. Which fucking all right, Ryan, like. That I'm tired of people talking about Ryan Reynolds like he's cool. I have had a lot of friends named Ryan, and that's a fucking Ryan move, all right? It's actually a push door. I mean, fucking Ryan, how about I could rip it out of the ground because I'm the fucking Rock? How about I could throw it at you? How about that, Ryan? Fucking catch it.
You didn't watch Deadpool?
I did. I mean, listen, all right? I'm taking selective jabs, but that was some bullshit. You're just mad that you can't rip that gate out.
A little bit. I mean,
he wishes he could. What's next? All right. Speaking of celebrities showing off, Chris Evans shows us America's penis.
I love that picture.
Yeah, poor fucking Chris Evans. He tries so hard to be like wholesome and likable, and apparently accidentally leaked a picture of his penis.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck that happens. And this is the second happening in 2022. Who was it? It was Ray Park, the guy that played Darth Maul in Star Wars.
Oh.
He accidentally leaked a sex tape of him and his girlfriend one morning.
Full makeup?
One morning, and yeah, full makeup. He's just flipping around there with a double-sided dildo. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm gonna make you come so fast.
Oh man, it changes my image of Darth Maul forever. Forever.
His mascara's running after going down on her.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, jeez.
He lost a horn. He's like, baby. She's like, here it is.
You gotta fuck his bottom half.
But yeah, apparently this was like Disney had a lot of scrubbing work to do in this fucking year. They had two of their stars leaking pornographic material, which I don't know if you can really call it a leak at that point. It's more of a peak.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? All right. What else in September? Carol Baskin is a contestant on Dancing on the Stars, or Dancing with the Stars. Sorry, she was a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. She was a contender for Dancing on Your Grave. But we went over that earlier. It's the whole scandal. Honestly, I didn't see this. I didn't see her on Dancing with the Stars, but I think it's funny that in 2020, we had a callback to something funnier that happened in 2020. The year is referencing itself. It's getting pretty meta. It's also funny that she is like our generation's OJ. Like, Whoa. She did it, she got away with it, and she became a bigger star for it.
Dang. You think she did it? I'll ask you one more time.
Do I think she did it? Do I think she did it? Absolutely she did it, dude. And her goofy-ass husband could barely contain her, like, second husband that she was doing all of the video interviews with, could barely contain his excitement.
Yeah.
You could tell that it gets him off how scary she is.
Yeah, he's pretty beta.
Oh, he is the simpiest simp. He is the simplest man you have ever seen in your life.
I mean,
simple kind of man.
Oh, nice.
If you can bury me in the sand. All right. Anyway, what else? Moving on to October. The gay civil war started by penguins. That's right. The gay civil war. It breaks out on the most unlikeliest of battlegrounds, a zoo.
But how do you know these penguins are gay?
Because you can observe their behavior, Quinn. That's kind of the way that works.
I guess.
You watch it all going down. My question is, so what happened was, it was in a Dieren Park Zoo in the Netherlands, because there's always weird shit going on over there.
Yeah.
They have gay penguins in the Netherlands. It's all the rage.
It's in the Netherlands? That's where this happened?
It's in the Netherlands, which is also. Anyway, all right, moving on.
Wait, didn't the penguins? Why did it start the gay civil war?
Oh, that's just the joke, my dude.
No, but wasn't there like a?
There was not actually a gay civil war.
They stole.
People, if I can clear that up, there was not actually a gay civil war in 2020.
Okay, sorry. I'm stupid.
I call it the gay civil war because what happened was a lesbian couple of penguins stole an egg from a gay male couple of penguins. So it was the
Wow.
lesbians attacking the gays fighting within the gay community.
Gotcha. Wow.
A civil war, if you will.
Yes, in the penguin community.
Yes. Now you understand. Fracturing what was once known as the LGBTQ community is now the LPs and the GPs, the lesbian penguins and the gay penguins. Clear line in the sand. What I want to know is how the gay penguins got that egg in the first place. Did they adopt from like a Chinese penguin couple, or I don't know why?
Could they buy it? No.
What is there, a penguin economy in the Netherlands? they've got an adoption agency. I guess we're both pretty abstract with this bit, but
I don't know, man.
one way or another, there was a confrontation. All right.
Anyways.
Anyway, moving on. October 2020, also huge news, found water on the moon. October 2020, we found water on the moon. Something that was like this ethereal stoner idea when I was a kid growing up, that they talk about water on the moon. There's no life out there. There's no evidence. It's space. It's a vacuum, all right? Nothing can exist out there. We're all there is. And now we're finding water on Mars. We find water on the moon. How does the world respond? Is it increased funding? Is it new and reinvigorated space programs? No. It's wet-ass pussy memes. The internet is undefeated, and 2020 will be no different. We respond with even NASA posting their own wet-ass pussy memes for this wet-ass moon.
Did you expect any more at that point?
There's some
though?
hose on the moon, and they making it wet. All right?
I hate you, bro.
No, I didn't expect anything different, honestly. I thought maybe for like a week we'd take it seriously, but of course not. Day one, get on it. Get that meme generator pumping. Bringing October to a close, one of my personal favorite, just stupid moves. Kanye bought Kim Kardashian a hologram of her dead dad for her birthday. Yeah.
So weird.
Divorce
So weird.
announcement coming in 3, 2, 1. It's over. I mean, my God. I gotta admit, did you ever think about stuffing one of your family pets when they died?
No.
I know it's a terrible idea, but when I was a kid, our family dog died, and I was like, I really miss Spencer. How cool would it be if we could just like stuff him in the living room, like sleeping in a corner, like checking us out? And then you start to think about how creepy that is.
I wouldn't like that at all.
Yeah, the eyes are never right.
Yeah.
And now you extrapolate that to thinking about Kim walking around the corner to make breakfast in the morning, and there's Dad looking goofy. Yeah,
That's so weird, dude.
yeah, that is a very weird decision, and clearly, more money, more problems, right? Like, he was always going to make a dumb decision, I guess, on what to get her for her birthday, and now he just did it more extravagantly. I did see one relatable ass video on the topic of Kim and Kanye's divorce.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think, a clip from one of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and they're talking, and Kim's like, I've never gone in our pool, actually. Can you believe that? And
Oh my goodness.
Kanye's like, yeah. And she's like, well, I mean, it doesn't have a hot tub. And then Kanye's just like, can you believe that? Can you believe that? Doesn't have a hot tub. Can you believe that? And I was like, yeah, dude, I get you. All right. I understand you now more than ever. I've been there.
I think they'll be better off, on their own.
100%.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, on to November. In a revealing expose, some real hard-hitting investigative journalism, we learn that Ivanka Trump is a dishonest fart shyster. That's right, I said it, and I'll say it again. A dishonest fart shyster, presumably genetic.
I did not see this one coming.
No, and just to explain what that means, it came out in an interview with one of Ivanka's old best friends that Ivanka once blamed a fart on her friend. I mean, you hear about blaming the dog. you can say, "Did you hear that frog?" and think you're really fucking funny. But blaming a fart on another human being, like, could you imagine just standing next to someone farting and then looking them in the eyes and being like, "That was disgusting," and just having to take it because that person is Ivanka Trump, and probably in some situation where Ivanka can't be farting, but fucking Natalie, that gross bitch, she's fucking farting all day.
It's gonna be so bad for PR.
Clearly a genetic disorder that's passed on through generations, because that's essentially what Donald Trump's presidency was trying to blame a fart on Obama. He's just like, he got in the White House. He's like, "It fucking stinks in here. Who was that?" It smells like Kenyan food. All right. Moving on. November also saw the rise of the Space Karen, a term that I wasn't aware of, but this gives us an opportunity to talk about the overall rise of the Karens. The Karens, it was a difficult year for anyone named Karen. I know 2 of them in my personal life. Both of them are lovely white women that do not deserve that kind of hate speech and rhetoric. But yeah, a lot of Karens earned it this year and got caught on videotape being fucking dorky. And speaking of being caught being dorky, Elon Musk was complaining about COVID testing being unreliable with rapid testing, and basically bitching about it on Twitter, which, you know, if you're that much of a celebrity, you kind of have a responsibility to not spread disinformation. Right. And I think one of the main medical experts or like founders or head people of this rapid testing agency was like, yeah, you kind of give up accuracy for efficiency in terms of speed, and so, you know, it's just, you get what you pay for, and rather than like trying to complain to the manager about your fucking false and then positive test, you fucking Karen, you could just realize that it is what it is. But anyway, he was just trying to complain that he was positive for COVID.
You got to give her the credits for being creative.
Yeah, Space Karen.
That was pretty good.
It is sick. I mean, it should be like a honestly, if anyone can work a Space Karen into a future sci-fi movie, that would be a great nod and homage to this whole saga.
Yeah.
What else happened? Wow. I mean, big news here in the end of November. You know, this is peak election season. This is when it counts. This is America's most volatile moment, and one of the most prestigious gatherings of respected political minds takes place. What is this, at a fucking construction warehouse?
The Four Seasons Total Landscape.
The Four Seasons Total. That's right. They tried to book it at the Four Seasons Hotel, and they ended up at the Four Seasons Total Landscape, which is an honest mistake, I guess, but just objectively hilarious. You know that at some point there was one intern in there that was like, "Yeah, we're gonna fucking lose," and it was their fault. It was their responsibility to book this, and they saw that listing right below the Four Seasons Hotel, and they were like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They said, may as well.
I'm gonna light the first fire. I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna knock over the first domino. And then you had Rudy Giuliani out there sweating all of his fucking face paint.
Yeah, that was so weird.
It was disturbing. It looked like he was just leaking like oil. Like he's an old machine that's malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Disturbing.
I think the funniest thing is that they went along with that, and that they didn't just be like, you know what, maybe this is a bad look.
I can't believe they set up all the little posters and everything.
Maybe the Republican National, maybe not a good look.
Maybe.
Maybe tomorrow we do it instead at the right place. But no, they're like, fuck it, we'll do it live. It was the Bill O'Reilly mentality taking over. And thank God that it did, because that was hilarious. And what a way for them to go down in smoke. Speaking of going down in smoke, going down the chimney wasn't a possibility this year. After a year of putting children on the front lines of the battle to reopen schools, Christmas is decidedly canceled. The world decides to continue to stick a big middle finger in the face of every hopeful child and say, yeah, we sent you back to school first to figure out how contagious it was. We figured, you know what, a couple less kids, we're fine. We had too many anyway. We can't afford it. So it's an acceptable level of loss. And Santa Claus, I guess, said the same thing, where he was like, you know what? fuck it.
It was a good cap on the year. I guess, it went along with the theme.
Exactly. To really fully cap off that narrative, you got to cancel Christmas.
I mean,
And that's just a funny sentence to be able to say. Christmas is canceled.
I wasn't even mad at that point. I was like, it's going to happen.
I was mad because a comedy show got canceled that I was really looking forward to. I had booked a fun one, and I was real excited to put that one on the boat show. So my Christmas got canceled too. But I guess that's only just is that everyone loses out on Christmas this year. That was how they just like made a big final stamp to make sure that this year was the shittiest year that we all remember. Yeah. Kids from years on are gonna be like, remember that one year that none of us had a Christmas?
I'll be like, remember that one year where all of this shit happened and then we didn't have Christmas? I mean, it's a stain.
It is. Speaking of a stain, also in December, Twitter gets a stain on its safety reputation, I guess, or security.
Well, Trump gets a stain.
Yeah, well, I think everyone kind of comes out of this looking bad, except for the guy that hacked into Twitter. But this guy, let me see if I can pull up his name, but he correctly guesses Trump's password to Twitter and also the nuclear codes. No, it's Dutch hacker Victor Gevers. But this guy correctly guessed Trump's password, MAGA 2020. And apparently he also guessed his last password, you're fired.
When was that?
It's like the guy can't be any more obvious. It's so self-centered, and I feel like the one before it might have been Diet Coke or Trump Tower. But it's all, yeah, oh my God, you're fired, MAGA 2020. It would have been so great if he used that power for good and started sliding into everybody's DMs. Like, if I was that guy, I would have gotten the worst kind of power trip for the next 20 minutes on Donald Trump's Twitter at the height of political sensitivity in America. I would have been sending, you get a DM. You get a DM. Guess what I said to you? Guess what I announced today? Oh my God, I would have had a fucking field day. And at that point, it might have been worth the jail time. But essentially, this was classified as ethical hacking. Another case of ethical hacking where it's like in the movies where the guy hacks into the system and they're like, we could use a guy like you on the force.
Yeah.
And then this fucking guy from Denmark gets a job and he's like, all right, I'm in. I bypassed the security system. You have 30 seconds to get into their wet ass P word. But yeah, that was fucking great. Honestly, I feel like he should have made some changes and locked Trump out. That would have been the move, to lock Trump out. But again, then you're infringing upon any sort of criminal activity. And so his whole thing was just to get in, get out, and say he did it. Which, right on. That's some fun kind of hacking.
That's clout for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I trumped
Trump twice.
I trumped Trump on Twitter.
And what else? Oh man, bringing December 2020 to a close. A woman, while hiking on a beach, finds a message in a bottle, a literal message in a bottle, washes ashore while she's hiking on the beach, walking on the beach, and walking with her kids, finds a message in a bottle, and said it was a long time dream come true. To which the sailors that wrote that note said, yeah, so is you finding this letter and coming to our rescue, which she didn't do. She just contacted the local news and posted about it on Instagram. But man, talk about a message in a bottle. That's what I mean.
It's such a good way, I guess, or a hopeful way to end 2020.
Right.
Right. Dreams come true.
Kind of.
One
maybe,
day.
But we're also trapped and trying to get out.
Yeah.
There's something there that just encapsulates 2020. It's like that last scene in Lost where Jack is yelling at the airport to Kate, and he's like, we have to go back. We have to go back. 2019. Hurley and Charlie and all of our friends.
Hello, Hugo.
Sawyer.
Oh.
Remember Lost? Anyway, all right,
Yeah.
moving on. 2020, what a fucking weird-ass year. That was some of the funniest shit that we thought that happened. If there's anything that you thought that we missed, definitely let us know. And we'll talk about that in the future. But what a fucking wild year, right? I mean, it was just a bunch of weird shit, a bunch of dumb shit, and I'm glad that there was at least some things we could laugh at. Because I know I needed that steady comedy. Without being able to go out and do comedy, it was nice to be able to laugh and write about all this dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy year. I think, for me, it was really bad, but it was really bad for everybody. So we kind of collectively suffered through it, which I think in a weird way unified people, right?
100%.
Right now I kind of feel a sense of unity with people. Like we've all adapted to this
100%.
this
That's where
COVID thing.
That's where the bonding happens, is down in the shit, down in the trenches. That's like when you're going through Hell Week, and if you guys played sports, or like when you get detention for the first time, and you're like in that shit together. I don't know what it is about being in the shit together, but there is something definitely powerful about being together when things are going wrong, because you realize how important that connection is. And the fact that you're not in it alone. A lot of us physically felt alone this year, but none of us were in it alone. We were all doing that shit together, just physically separated. Yeah, man. Anyway, hopefully that helps you guys laugh at all that dumb shit and go into this next year feeling a little bit lighter. All right, let's bring this bitch home with one last clip here.
All right.
We got one last clip, and listen, guys, this one, it's been a hell of an episode. It's been fun recording this first episode, and I just wanted to end it with this sentiment. We're trying to stay positive. We're trying to do things. We're trying to move forward in our life, make progress, make something tangible out of something that is just an idea, bring a passion into existence. And it's just like however many days, years ago, and nights ago when I started stand-up comedy. Now we're embarking on this new journey of starting a podcast together, trying to make a place for the people of Earth, for my people, our people, the people of Earth out there living their lives when you want to come and avoid some of the bullshit. And, we got you guys. So I just wanted to end out with something positive. If there's something out there that you want to do, go out and fucking do it. Make it happen. And listen to yourself. Trust yourself. And with that, enjoy some last words from Bob Marley, and then we'll be back for a quick little thing. So Bob Marley's last words.
Bob, keep on talking to the people. They
to
might
his
never
fans.
hear your voice again. Keep on talking to them for a little while until you're cool, man.
Witness to the people have a voice inside of them that talk to them, That is the voice that these people must listen to. Because in everything you're going to do, there's a wrong way and a right way. And if you listen good, you will know the right way. True. Because there is a voice inside talking to everyone. Seeing? True. Seeing.
I like that.
Play that one more time just because I was talking over the intro real quick.
All right.
I was just trying to say it's
Bob, keep on talking to
sorry.
the people. They might
Hold
never
on. We'll start it over.
it's Bob, not his last words ever, but his last words recorded to his fans as he's, declining in health.
Yeah.
Bob, keep on talking to the people. They might never hear your voice again. Keep on talking to them for a little while until you're cool, man.
Witness to the people have a voice inside of them that talk to them, That is the voice that these people must listen to. Because in everything you're going to do, there's a wrong way and a right way. And if you listen good, you will know the right way. True. Because there is a voice inside talking to everyone. Seeing? True. Seeing.
For whatever reason you couldn't hear that, there is a voice inside that's talking to you. Listen to it. There's a right way, there's a wrong way. Do everything, and you'll find that right way if you listen to that voice. So listen, guys. Listen, people. My people of Earth. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor and a pleasure. We'll see you back. We'll be back for the next episode. Just a little quick peek of what's to come. We want to do a bunch of fun shit. It's not always going to be pre-prepared segments like this. Sometimes it's going to be conversational. We're going to talk about my life in comedy, bring in some of my funny friends, interview some interesting people of Earth. We might get some musicians in here, some artists, people from all walks of life. And we might even do some deep dives on historical figures. Some of the most interesting people of Earth from the past. Maybe some people of Earth that are still alive. Find out do a deep dive on their impact that they've had on us, our lives, and our world. We're also going to be coming up with more content as we go. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, any videos, any personal experiences, if you guys need any advice on anything, just want to hash out, have somewhere to dump out and vent, or have a specific topic or video or person that you want us to talk about, You can send us an email at peopleofearthpod@gmail.com. That is peopleofearthpod, P-O-D, @gmail.com. All one word. And we're at People of Earth Podcast on Instagram. So go ahead and reach out. Let us know if you enjoyed this first episode, anything you want us to tackle in the future. Give us a follow, give us a like. And my name is Austin Carr. I'll see you guys next time. Keep some sunshine on your face and have a good one, you dirty motherfuckers. I'll see you around.
Good morning, people of the earth.
We interrupt our program at the request of the White House. This is a test.
Some very strange events have been taking place recently.
The emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. Furnishing news, official information, and instruction as soon as possible.
Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. The world is like a ride at an amusement park.
This is only a test.
This is just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love.
A small group of warriors have taken up the fight on your behalf.
It's been activated to keep you informed.
The earth is where we make our stand.
You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful.
People of the earth.
People of Earth.
People of earth.
If you are not tuned to a station furnishing information for your area,